My name is Galina Cordero. I am a QPPV, Head of Pharmacovigilance Department, Clinical Expert, JSC Farmak. First of all, I'm very happy to see you in this webinar because it's one of goal to improve knowledge and to get new knowledge, because pharmacovigilance right now, as I see, it's the main goal of everybody who working in pharmaceutical industry. Why am I saying like this? Because risk of medicines can come of different sources, and we will talk about it, why it's important to have knowledge and approach pharmacovigilance as a specialty. It's new specialty, and right now it cannot be combining, for example, with different position, because it's take all time and need knowledge. And multidisciplinary, we will today talk about it, why it's important. Don't stop and continue to get new knowledge, not just in pharmacovigilance, but specialties, for example, like toxicology, pharmacology, and different fields in other, which we will talk about it today. Clinical knowledge, drug safety knowledge, knowledge of GXP, because what I see, right now, pharmacovigilance can be divided on regulatory part and clinical part, and why important to be not just and many problems now meet pharmacists, because clinical experience, clinical minds, and clinical analytics can be included in, like, for example, a knowledge of epidemiology, knowledge of auditing, because we have two aims. One of aims is successful to pass inspections, another one is safety of patient, and we should remember it every day in our daily practice. I divided in blocks my presentation, and after every blocks you can write your questions, and if you will see, you can open your profile and ask it in a live schedule. Your presentation you will receive afterwards, and you can contact with by chance Innova with your question, because it will improve for us to understand, like said coordinated Svetlana, our needs. In first part, we will see significance of pharmacovigilance, introduction of pharmacovigilance, importance of pharmacovigilance healthcare, because very important to build bridge between pharmaceutical industry and healthcare. What I see right now from my clinical experience, from my because I'm a medical doctor in past life, that's very important to have this bridge. As a party, just 50% of medical doctors now to have knowledge of updated profiles, of safety profiles, of drugs, of medicine. Why? Because they cannot understand where to find this information. If what we should to do, we should train in healthcare professions. First of all, you can meet like barrier, because you see that one of the barrier of reporting adverse reaction is scared, it's fears of responsibility. But from my experience, if medical doctor will not find these reasons, this, for example, medication errors of label use, it will be repeated in future. It will lead to another problems with drugs. It's very important to understand. We have now many challenges faced in pharmacovigilance, and we have bigger opportunity right now. We will discuss it. For example, use of artificial intelligence pharmacovigilance, and challenge it faced in pharmacovigilance. From my experience, for example, working with ChatGPT, you can meet interesting situation. I am calling it like hallucination, because sometimes ChatGPT can reflect what he wants, but its algorithm, it can be training too, and you can use it, but control it and control every, for example, reference what you can get from ChatGPT. And yes, you can be higher, you should know what you're looking for it. It's one of challenges. And we will discuss artificial intelligence, native language knowledge for machine learning in the artificial intelligence too. It's very important. Regulatory aspect of pharmacovigilance is challenged because you can meet situation as a QPPs, pharmacovigilance specialists, the different legislation and how combine it in one system. It's challenging for pharmaceutical industry and the role of technology and pharmacovigilance, how, for example, use and to find a database. If each challenge you can meet in this field, we will look on this too in our webinars. Pharmacovigilance, it's, you know this definition, but I won't pay attention that it's science and activities. You cannot be a very qualified person, for example, as a QPPV or pharmacovigilance specialist, if you will not to get desire, improve yourself. It's science. Every day you can see challenges. And for example, you know metformin, yes, but majority problems of it is beta 12 deficiency anemia. What you should do, you should give parallel with metformin this beta 12 deficient beta 12 vitamin. It will improve condition of patient. It's important. Why I pay attention that now two fields, pharmacovigilance and drug safety, and it's very now related, and you should every day monitor and committee with new signals and different literature monitoring, how you to do it. You can use Embase, you can use MBCO database, biologic database, different database for literature search, because very difficult for pharmacovigilance special now work without these tools, and you should know how to do it. And we will, in our program, which I created and divided into two parts, one part of that is clinical part, another regulatory, we will see in different form. It will be in seminars and master class and practicum. I will show how to do it in the cases. Majority problem for us that too many theory you can find, but in other problems you should find cases, and afterwards you will get experience of it. Why multidisciplinary? Because pharmacovigilance, it's not satellite. What I see that too many science now surround which are related with risk of drugs. Why we should to know why thalidomide tragedy get happen? Because was chosen just one model of animals. It will was missed these problems with teratogenicity of thalidomide. Why it's important? Why I pay attention? It's not just pharmacovigilance. It's preclinical investigation of drugs, it's clinical investigation drugs, it's knowledge with GLP, GCP, and combining knowledge. It's very important right now to pharmacovigilance specialists and for healthcare professionals too, because, for example, special population very important, drug-inducing condition very important. Who follow me on LinkedIn, you can see my activities and why I do it. I want to share my knowledge, and I want that patient will get normal healthcare support too through pharmacovigilance specialists who can help in it too from healthcare professionals. To ensure the safety and efficacy of drug, pharmacovigilance integrates various aspects from medical science, statistics, regulatory science, and more. You see now, even on this stage, medical science, statistics, regulatory science, and more. Why in pharmacovigilance field should be necessary included pharmacovigilance physician with medical education? Because you should, as a medical specialist, I am calling it clinical expert, differentiate its risk. It can be adverse event, adverse reaction, from which it can be a signs of disease. It can be signs of, for example, interaction drugs, it's polypharmacy problem, it's problems related with patient, with drugs, with it can be problems with genetic polymorphism in this patient, and this knowledge should be combined. And another what I want to pay attention, and now very important, it's to collect pharmaceutical anamnesis from patients and look at a complex approach for patient. Because, for example, one specialty gastroenterologist can treat, for example, as case disease and using blocker of proton pumps. Another can use, for example, metformin, but what in these cases it's ulcerative disease and diabetic mellitus patients, and combined problems with neuropathy because hypomagnia as the adverse events should coming from blocker pumps, and it's not go away even after the challenge of these drugs. And from another side, it's metformin, and what we see, it's coming and make worse neuropathy as consequences of diabetes mellitus. And we should know it too: clinical science, medical science, statistics, regulatory science, toxicology. We will talk about it. And we now coming for question why it's very important, significance of pharmacovigilance. First of all, the main goal of pharmacovigilance is patient safety. It's what we should remember every day in our daily practice. Monitoring of adverse drugs reaction. Pharmacovigilance plays a crucial role of it, because we monitoring this question. If we should share this knowledge with healthcare professional, you should ask how to do it. Organized training, target training. From my experience, when I see, for example, problem with some group of drugs, what I'm doing, I am coming to regulatory authority, talking with them, discussing problem, and organize it, target education for this group of healthcare professional, and I see results, and we are reflected in a risk management plan, like risk minimization measure afterwards we control efficacy of it. It's very important. Patient safety, monitoring adverse drug reaction. Pharmacovigilance again plays a crucial role in identified and evaluated adverse drug reactions, thereby safeguarding patients from potential harm. If we should to find it, today it can be potential risk of drug, tomorrow it can be identified. And you can find another situation, for example, identifying risk, but its risk can go away if, for example, routine measure will be enough for solving this problem. Risk management. By assessing the risk associated with drug use, pharmacovigilance helps in the development of strategies to mitigate this risk. Regulatory compliance. Regulatory requirements, very important to know national requirement of every market where your drug now in stage of circulation or on this market. And it's a field of pharmacovigilance intelligence you should have in your department as a specialist pharmacovigilance intelligence, who monitoring changing exactly changing in legislation of this pharmacovigilance. Pharmaceutical companies are required to comply with national and international regulation concerning drug safety and pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance ensures adherence to this regulation. Post-marketing surveillance. Continuous monitoring of drug post-approval is essential to ensure ongoing safety and efficacy, and clinical trials may not uncover potential adverse effects. It's very important to understand the clinical trials cannot show potential problems, because you cannot you have criteria exclusion in clinical trials. You not include, for example, pregnant ladies, with special problems, for example, with cancer, with problems with liver, with hepatic problems, with nephrotic problems, and you see that this patient afterwards can have this risk. Plus population, how many patients included in these clinical trials, because population have more patients, and because of this it's not very big population in clinical trials will not show this risk. It's very important too. But when you see in clinical trials problem, it's for sure will be common, and you will see it reflect. You will see it sounds in population afterwards. Very important. Post-marketing surveillance. Continuous monitoring of drug post-approval is essential to ensure ongoing safety and efficacy, as the clinical trials, again, may not uncover. It's very important. Public health. Early detection of drug problems. Pharmacovigilance system can detect new, rare, or serious adverse reacts early, preventing widespread public health issue. We see a problem with COVID vaccines, and you now see too many debates about it. Why, for example, myocarditis, pericarditis, signs in kids early or older 10 years old, how it reflects on the immune system, how we will fight it. You see now which problems have AstraZeneca and other company with it because of the risk. And very important for every drug, for vaccine, even for device, a different system, it will be different webinar, device vigilance. You will see how important to combine this knowledge, because risk can come from device, from vaccines, from drug interaction, and you should have this knowledge, how to get every day, improve it, to pass target education for yourself and share this knowledge with healthcare professionals. Evidence-based decision. Data collected through pharmacovigilance contribute to making informed decisions about drug use, policy making, and clinical guidance. Improving drug therapy. Benefit risk assessment. Very important, and I pay attention in benefit. You can analyze benefit, you can analyze risk assessments. Now, too many methodologies you can meet. If you will have question, I can share my knowledge, PROACT, for example, methodology, and other ones, but in every group, you should analyze alternatives, because, for example, from my experience from some markets, fanspirits get away from markets because of problems, prolongation, QT interval. It's very important. Just were 5 cases with prolongation, QT in non-clinical stage of development of these drugs. It was reason of withdrawal of drugs. Why? Because so many alternatives drugs against cough are present in the market. But for example, we've been talking about in other groups, even we show some risks but benefit more and no alternatives. And our aim minimize this risk. For example, if you see problems, you see which drugs can interact and talk with this patient. If you healthcare, if you pharmaceutical industry, you should in pharmaceutical as pharmacovigilance specialist, you should reflect it, for example, in risk management plans, in risk mitigation plans, if you, for example, locate and follow requirement of United States. It's very important. It's why benefit risk assessment, it's ongoing pharmacovigilance, allow for the continuous assessment of the benefit risk ratio for medication, leading to improving drug therapy decision. Enhance the therapeutic outcomes, but identifying drug interaction, contraindication, and optimal dosage pharmacovigilance contributes to more effective and safer treatment protocols. Supported healthcare professional, education, research. Pharmacovigilance provides valuable information to healthcare professionals about the safety profiles of drugs, aiding in better clinical decision-making. In very important qualification for QPPV, pharmacovigilance specialists, it's very quick but very wise decision-making, based on benefit-risk assessment, based on knowledge on preclinical investigation, clinical investigation, toxicology knowledge, epidemiology knowledge, based on knowledge receiving from literature monitoring. You should understand what to do in future. Please think about it. It's very important. And bridge, remember, bridge between pharmaceutical industry and healthcare professional. Healthcare professional very busy with different another problem. If we should pharmaceutical industry show our shoulder, give our hand for them, and share with them this knowledge, and it will minimize problems in patients. Reporting system encourage and facilitates and the reporting of adverse reaction by healthcare professionals is vital in maintaining drug safety. Reporting system national can be different. For example, European unions, it's drug vigilance. In Ukraine, and is database. There are two principles of database, and you know it, but all database, FHIR's database, for example, MHRA, regulatory authority, Great Britain, TGA, Australia regulatory authorities, but all risks can be combined. But genetic polymorphism, I pay attention, some drugs work in different population. For example, Caucasians and Black population, different work and blockator, angiotensin-renin system blockator, for example, enalapril, and for example, beta-adrenal blockator. You can find different efficacy, and it can connect it even with adverse event. But very important now, a challenge pharmacovigilance and personalized medicine. It's way to minimize risk too. Economic impact, reducing healthcare cost. Effective pharmacovigilance can prevent adverse drug reactions, thereby reduces the associated healthcare cost. When you see, for example, statistics, now adverse events as a problem in economic impact, now setting on first place of results of death, lethal problems. Why it's important? Safety of patient, economic impact very related to, but patient of you should remember again, safety of patient is the first. Protecting pharmaceutical investment. By ensuring drug safety and maintaining public trust, pharmacovigilance protects the investment pharmaceutical companies' drug development, because you can meet, for example, problem with judges, problem with image even, and in first stage pharmaceutical company, what should do pharmaceutical company? They quickly trying to register new drugs, its circulation of drugs, its selling of drugs, but pharmacovigilance now in first place, and related is pharmacovigilance and quality system and in pharmaceutical companies at two flies on one bird. It cannot be separate. It's very related. But if, for example, drug medicine has problem with quality, it's again has problem with safety. It's very important. And for example, when we talking about it, it's can be combined. Why should you have standard and operation procedure interaction between pharmacovigilance and quality system, QPPV in QP, in different level, in global level and in level of local. Very important. Pay